Hey guys, good morning. I'm currently about to do a little bit of a check-in video just for myself. My voice is like kind of raspy because I literally just woke up. I want to talk about something that I had to do yesterday. I had to get rid of a certain food item in my house because I found that I kept going for it and I wasn't able to like stop. Usually I don't have that kind of problem. Like usually I'm fine with being like, oh, like I'm compliant, I'm not gonna go, you know, have all these little snacks. But what it was these protein bars and they were so good. I kept going for them and it got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm gonna like mess myself up if I keep having this. So what I had to do was I had to call a friend and I had to say, hey, do you want all of this stuff? So I gave it all away, like a huge box. I gave it all away because I was like, I know right now I'm not able to control myself around these things, so I need to get it away from me. And I'm so proud of myself for doing that because usually I would just be in denial and I'd be like, oh no, you know, I can handle it, I can trust myself right now. And the reality of the fact is I just did 4 shows. My body is screaming at me, telling me to eat, even though I know that I can't trust that instinct right now because right now it's distorted. So I'm proud of myself for, like, you know, making that call, getting rid of the protein bars, you know, just eliminating the problem entirely. So I want to show you guys what's in my fridge. I want to show you guys like what I got grocery shopping, and I also want to talk a little bit about like the post-show food thing because I know like everybody struggles with it. Even I'm struggling with it right now. So we will chat later and I will do my check-in. I did a check-in today and my weight actually dropped. So I think last time I vlogged, it was a few days ago, I think my weight was around 110 or 109. So now I'm at 106.9. I noticed my food behavior and I had to nip it in the butt. I got rid of those protein bars, thank God. And for the past 2 days, I've been eating whole foods, sticking to my meal plan, and my body is responding so positively. I feel amazing and my weight is also dropping back down. I'm losing the water retention, I'm losing the bloating. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about in this video, is kind of just like post-show, dealing with those feelings, dealing with those cravings, because let's be real, we all have them. We all have that psychological response after dieting to eat and eat and eat and eat, even if we're not hungry. What I wanted to do today was kind of different. I actually wanted to take you guys on a little tour through my fridge, just to kind of see like what I'm eating and also show you guys a little bit of the extra things that I'm having, because right now I'm still deciding if I'm gonna do that show or not, but I'm not like dieting. So I am having a little bit, you know, extra things, but it's not like crazy. Like literally, I'm gonna be showing you guys these, probably some food hacks, some low calorie alternatives, and just things that I genuinely love having. So at a first glance, it's a complete disaster. I do live with my mom, so you know, it's half me, half my mom. Basically all the vegetables you see in here are mine. And then the dog food, that's obviously mine too. Okay, so I have my tripod set up. I have the fridge wide open, and we are gonna go through what's in my fridge, what I keep in my fridge 24/7, and the little extra things that I've gotten since doing my shows, and now I can have a little bit more food freedom. The first thing I always have in my fridge is obviously my chicken breasts. I always have chicken and rice in the fridge at all times, because basically I just need a protein and a carb at all times. You want to make sure you don't run out of these, because then if you tend to run out of food, you tend to just kind of go for whatever, and that can lead, especially post-show, if you fail to prepare to fail. So I always have chicken breast made, and that leads me to the next thing. I always have a pot of rice. This is a much smaller pot than you guys have seen me eat before, especially on this channel. So I'm not doing super high carb right now. I'm kind of just like, you know, maintaining in the middle. So I always have rice. The rice that I make is just white rice. I often have people ask me, why don't I eat brown rice? I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I don't like brown rice. Next thing I always have egg whites. I have egg whites every single morning. So every single morning I have like my egg white omelet. So I start the day with protein. I always have eggs in my fridge. I actually don't eat too many eggs. I have 1 egg a day. I'm not like a huge egg person, so I literally in the morning it's just egg whites and then my 1 egg just so I get that little burst of fat in the morning. Next thing is sweet potatoes. These are an amazing carb source. So if I don't do rice, I will do sweet potatoes. They're an amazing carb source, like probably one of the best carb sources you can have. So my beloved asparagus, I always have some asparagus in the fridge. I just genuinely really like asparagus. Like I think it's a really great vegetable and I really like the way that it makes me feel. You know, like it's one of those vegetables where you can eat a lot of it and you don't bloat, you don't get gas. Whereas if you have a lot of broccoli, then you might want to just stay home for the rest of the night. These are 2 things that I always have in my fridge as well. So this is just iceberg garden salad and then this one is coleslaw. I just like having these. I have a big salad every single day, so just making sure I get like my vegetables in, my greens, and now that I'm not like dieting anymore, I can have different vegetables like spinach and mushrooms and peppers and just really make it a colorful salad. So I'm getting all my micronutrients in, as well as this is really low calorie, so you can have a lot of it, you can fill up on it, and this is actually probably going to be one of the most important points for handling those post-show, you know, like you just want to eat and eat and eat, is vegetables. Also, one more thing that I always have in my fridge, if you know me personally, like I just love cucumber. Like I started my cucumber obsession when I did my first show because my coach dropped me to 0 carb and I was like, okay, well, can I have cucumber if I'm hungry? And he was like, yeah, sure. So I basically just lived off of cucumbers for a little bit. It's all good, but I just love them. They're basically all water. I eat probably like 1 full cucumber a day. That's just how much I like it. I like to dip it in mustard and stevia, and that's another thing I always have in my fridge. You guys are gonna think I'm actually crazy, but this is my mustard. So I have a lot of mustard. I don't really know how I got this many, but I just have this many. These ones are actually from the dollar store. They're the best ones I have tried. Style mustard. I think it's like $1.25. Seriously, you guys, if you can find this in your local dollar store, get it. It's so good. I think I went through like the basic things that I have with you. These are foods that I eat every single day that are on my meal plan. Now, since I am not dieting for a show at this particular moment, I'm able to kind of, you know, get a little bit creative, add a little bit of this and that to my meals and stuff, but not go absolutely bonkers. So what I did was I went to the grocery store and I found a bunch of low calorie, little exciting extra things that I can add to my food just to make it a little bit more, you know, exciting. Because when you are doing a diet and when you're doing a meal plan, you know, you have to be very strict. Stick to the meal plan. You know, you can't have almond milk in your coffee, but when you do a show, it's nice to just have that little relax, you know, like I can have cashew milk in my coffee, and it just makes things a little bit, it makes life a little bit more enjoyable. So I'm gonna show you guys a bunch of things that I got that I really enjoy, that just make me feel happy and make me, you know, enjoy my food a little bit more. So the first thing I got was this Silk coconut creamer for coffee. I have this like obsession with Starbucks Grande Americano with 1 inch of steamed almond milk. Like it makes me so happy. It was literally all I wanted post-show. I didn't even want a burger. I just wanted my Americano with steamed almond milk. So I went to the store. This is after prep. I went to the store and I found this and I was like, wow, that would be amazing in my coffee. And you know what? It is. 0.5 gram of fat, totally doable, and 1 gram of carb. That's it. It's 10 calories, per serving. So I put this in my coffee, I put this in my oatmeal. It is so good in oatmeal, you guys. Oh my God, it changes the game. So good. So this is definitely something that I was like, okay, yeah, I'm excited about. The next thing I got was Silk cashew milk. So this, if you haven't had this before, you are seriously missing out. There's 25 calories in 1 cup. So let's compare that to 1 cup of milk. In 1 cup of milk, you have 5 grams of fat, 12 grams of carbs, 9 grams of protein. This one, 1 cup, 25 calories, 2 grams of fat, 1 carb, 1 protein. So I could literally drink this entire thing and I would probably be okay. Add this to my coffee. I like to add this to my oatmeal. I like to drink it on its own. Seriously, it's good iced, it's good hot. It's so good. And it actually tastes good by itself too. So one thing I really craved after I got off stage was Greek yogurt. I am lactose intolerant, so I can't get this again because it did bloat me when I had it. But this is the Greek yogurt I get. I get 0% unflavored. The macros on this, it's 100 calories for 175 grams. So you actually get quite a lot of volume. Macros, 0 fat, 7 carb, 17 protein. This is probably my favorite one by this brand. Unfortunately, I am very lactose intolerant, so you know, whenever I have this, I know that I can't leave the house. I know that I can't leave the house, so this is kind of like, if I'm going to have a cheat meal or something, maybe I'll have some of this after for dessert, but for day to day, I would much rather just feel healthy. So this I'm probably gonna have to cut out, but I was very excited about it. All right, now these two I found, and let me tell you, they are amazing. They are the Bold House Farms low-calorie salad dressings. So I got the classic ranch and I got the blue cheese. One thing about these guys is they are made with yogurt, and a little lactose intolerant me can't handle the lactose. These are amazing because one of the things that I really craved post-show was a giant spinach salad with like creamy dressing. And obviously salad dressings are so high calorie. Like for example, I don't know, let's take one of my mom's salad dressings. So this is her 3 cheese ranch dressing. This has 6 grams of fat, 1 carb, and no protein. Let's compare that to this dressing. This has 1.5 grams of fat, 1 carb, and 1 protein. So you can see like how it adds up. If you, especially if you like to coat your salads and dressings, I definitely recommend going for the lower calorie ones. These guys are amazing, and honestly, I got nothing bad to say about these guys other than I'm lactose intolerant. Really love spinach right now. I'm all about the big spinach salads. So I have spinach, I have mushrooms. I really love peppers right now. I just love every single vegetable right now. I love. We have a whole bunch of like homegrown zucchini and everything. So I've really just been experimenting with different recipes and, you know, taking the foods from my meal plan and kind of just making them something like, I don't know, adding zucchini and adding tomatoes and adding all of these different things to just make it something new. And then one final thing that I've been having is my little container of chickpeas. You guys, I love chickpeas. They're so good. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll take away a little bit of the rice from my meal and I'll just replace it with some chickpeas just because I like to have something different. So some other things that I just wanted to show you guys. I want to show you this stevia. So these are sweet drops. They are actually so amazing. They're by my favorite stevia brand, Sweet Leaf. Really like this brand because it does not give me gas. It does not bloat me. This is the stevia that I use. So when I am craving something sweet, I will just, you know, I'll add a stevia to it. I stay away from artificial sweeteners. I try my best to stay away from sucralose just because of the way that it makes me feel. It bloats me. It just does not agree with me at all. Okay, so now that we've gone through my fridge, I kind of just wanted to talk about some feelings that I've been having post-show and some things that I am experiencing. If I'm being completely honest, I did struggle for a few days right after my last show, which was last weekend. I just noticed my food behavior, like I could not stop snacking, especially on those freaking protein bars, which is why I had to get rid of them. But I noticed that behavior and I was like, okay, I understand why I'm feeling like this, but I need to keep myself accountable. It is so, so important that you keep yourself accountable, especially after doing a show and after dieting down to such a low body fat. Your metabolic rate has adapted to the lower calories, so your body is actually unable to handle if you just start eating like bucket loads of food. That is where you will put on the most fat deposit. That's why it's so important to keep yourself accountable right after a show, because you need to let your metabolism adapt and slowly walk your calories up so that your metabolism can also walk up, and then your body fat doesn't just skyrocket. So when I noticed I was having that food behavior of continuous snacking, I was like, okay, clearly I'm unable to control myself right now because my body's natural instinct is like survival. So we want to eat because we've just been starving for so long. So what I had to do was I had to call a friend, and I just said, hey, I am having this problem. I can't control myself around these protein bars. Can you please come take them away? And my friend came, he picked them up, and since then, you guys, I have felt so much better. I had to make that call because I know, like, as accountable as I am, I know that it was just going to create a problem for me. I wasn't able to, you know, control myself, and it was just, it kind of snowballs. So when you start snacking and when you start eating, you kind of have this sense of guilt because you know, you're like, oh my God, I shouldn't be doing this. But then, you know, you eat more to kind of mask that feeling, and then it can easily snowball into a potential binge episode, or, you know, it just flows into the days, and then before you know it, you've put on all this weight, you're out of control, you can't backtrack, and it just creates more problems. So I had to nip that behavior in the bud before it became a problem. And what really made me see that was the scale going up. I was like, okay, I know it's going up way faster than it should, so I need to keep myself accountable. I need to go back on, you know, meal plan, not like deprivation, starvation, prep meal plan, but a healthy meal plan, you know, like slowly increasing my calories, having enough carbs, having enough protein, doing my cardio, keeping myself really just accountable. And that is one of the hardest things to do after a prep, because, you know, you just worked your ass off for however long, and now you're like, wow, okay, I'm done, I can eat. And that's not the case, because you need to let your metabolism adapt to having more food before you introduce all of the more quantity of food. So some tips I really have for keeping yourself accountable is, what I did was I wrote a list of the woman that I want to be. And the first thing I wrote is, I deserve to be the woman who has her shit together. And that one really stood out for me, because I want to be someone who's accountable. I want to be someone who takes care of my body, you know. I want to be someone who pays attention to what they put in their mouth and how they feel and how it affects them. That really matters to me. I don't want to feel bloated. I don't want to feel sick. I don't want to, you know, feel heavy and sluggish and tired. I don't want that. I deserve to be the woman who feels energetic and happy and, you know, cares about what she puts in her body, gets her vitamins, her vegetables, her minerals. So the first tip would be writing down who you want to be, who you deserve to be. The second thing is, I have this little whiteboard that I keep in my room. I keep it right beside my bed, so it's the first thing I see every single day. And I kind of just write these affirmations for myself, like, you are going to be accountable today. You are going to be successful today. You are going to be healthy today. And by having that as the first thing I see when I wake up in the morning, it kind of sets me up for the rest of my day. So, you know, I'm waking up and I'm seeing these affirmations and I'm like, yeah, I am going to be healthy today. I am going to do a good job today. So by starting your day on a positive note, it can really set the tune for the rest of your day. So I highly recommend, you know, like writing affirmations. I have this big mirror in my room, and I write down like positive quotes on my mirror, so that every single time I look in the mirror and I'm looking at myself, I'm looking at that quote and I'm relating the two. I'm relating myself to the quote, and say, I don't know, the quote says like, you are powerful. And then I look at myself and I'm like, yes, you are powerful. You can do this. The third tip I have is what I had to do with the protein bars. If you know you're unable to control yourself in a particular time because your physiological response is to eat, then just get rid of the food. Get rid of the triggers, get rid of the cookies and the snacks, and for me, the protein bars. Just get it away from you. Replace those foods with whole foods that aren't gonna make you feel sick, that aren't gonna make you feel bloated. What I did was I got rid of the protein bars and I filled my fridge up with vegetables, spinach, mushrooms, peppers, zucchini, tomato, everything. What I do whenever I'm hungry is I just go make a salad, or you know, like I make a meal, but it's full of whole nutrient dense foods. So when I eat it, my body knows how to break it down. Our bodies have very difficult times breaking down highly processed foods. So if you find yourself snacking, it's better to snack on whole foods rather than processed junk, because at least your body knows how to break it down and you're not going to be severely bloated, you're not going to feel sick, and then you're not going to have that snowball effect where you're like, oh, I feel like shit, I might as well continue eating like shit, because you won't feel like shit. So anyways, that's where I'm at currently with my post-show. We are now, I think we're almost a week post-show, and I've finally kind of, you know, been able to breathe a little bit and get myself back on track. It was a little bit rocky for a few days, but you know what? I feel like that happens to everyone, so totally okay. My body is finally responding positively to the training and to the whole foods and everything, and I truly am feeling wonderful inside and out. Cheat meals are something that I want to touch base on in another video, because there's a whole purpose to them. There's a whole timing when to have them. And you know, it does have a huge play in like the psychological part of dieting. But that's for another video, because I have so many things to say about that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also check out my Instagram if you are not subscribed to my Instagram. So yeah, if you have any questions or comments about post-show, or even like topics that you want me to cover when it comes to, say, holistic nutrition or dealing with post-show, please leave a comment. I would love to get back to you, or even just send me a message on Instagram. You know, my DMs are basically always open. If you truly need help, I will respond. So that being said, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.